I love my Instant Pot. I use it all the time. I actually wish I had 2 of them. So these are my top 5 tips and hacks for the Instant Pot. Doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro or brand new to the Instant Pot, I think these hacks will help you out. Tip number 1, one ring to rule them all. Precious. This is not the Lord of the Rings. These things have a silicone ring on the inside of the lid, right here. This silicone ring will absorb the smell of whatever you're cooking. So if you cook something really strong like a curry or a pot roast, I guarantee you your ring is gonna smell like curry or pot roast. Well, guess what? That's gonna transfer into the other dishes that you make. One thing that I make sure I 100% do is I have 3 rings. I have one red ring. My red ring is my rice ring. Get it? R, red rice. I have a blue ring that I use for desserts. Yes, you can make cheesecake in the Instant Pot. And then I have one last ring, which is my all-purpose cooking ring, my clear one. This is the one that came with the Instant Pot. So if I'm cooking food, meats, dishes, that transfer of smell is not that important. You aren't gonna get a problem with that. But if you're cooking rice is like a blank slate. Rice is gonna absorb the flavor and the smell of whatever that ring has absorbed. So make sure you have a rice only ring. That's the one thing for sure. Also, cheesecakes and desserts, you don't want beefy cheesecake. Okay, maybe you want a beefy cheesecake, but that's a totally different video. So in the Instant Pot world, no beefy cheesecake. Tip number 2, make it easy on yourself. Don't forget about your rice after you cook it. After you cook your rice, you can leave these things on and they go into a warm mode and they'll keep things warm for a very long time. But if you're, eating your food and you've just made your 2 or 3 plates of food and you're like, I'll get to that later. Don't do that. Get the rice out of the Instant Pot as soon as you're done serving it and you don't need to keep it warm anymore. The longer it sits in here, the longer it dries out and the longer it forms like a crusty, hard rice on the inside of the pot, and it just makes it harder to clean. So that's the first tip. Get it out of there as soon as you can. The sooner the better. If you did end up leaving it in there and you ended up with some razor sharp rice, take your pot, go put it in the sink, pour some water in it, warm water, and let it sit for maybe 30 minutes. Just make sure that the water covers the rice. It doesn't even need to have soap in it. Just let it soak for a little bit and the rice will turn to mush and you'll be able to clean it up in a breeze. Tip number 3. If you cooked something in here and you sauteed at the end, or you did a little frying at the end, or you just cooked something that has like a lot of crust inside the pan and you're looking at the thing like, I don't want to clean that. Don't throw it in the dishwasher right away because it's not going to do a great job. It's going to come out and it's still going to be dirty unless you have like the best dishwasher in the world. But do a version of my dad hack for cleaning pans. I think it's dad hack number 682. I'll put a link in the video, but grab yourself some water, pour the water into the Instant Pot, set it on saute high, and let it boil for like 10, 15 minutes. That's gonna loosen up everything that's hard and caked on, and then you'll be able to pour it out and wash it up so much easier. Tip number 4. Let's say you've done that and you still got some little bits and little tiny things all around and you wanna clean up the pot. Don't use Brillo. They don't recommend it. I guess the scratches on the inside do something. I don't see why it would be a problem if you lightly scrubbed it with Brillo, but they say not to do it. So what you do is you go and you get yourself one of these. It's like a plastic pan scraper. They're like $3 for 2 of them on Amazon. And you take this, and this is safe to use. You can actually use it on all your stainless steel pans. You can use it on your cast iron, and you can use it on the inside of your Instant Pot. And it has a nice little curve, and you can just scrape around the edge, scrape up in here, and scrape everything out. And it gets everything off really easily, and it's fantastic. It works so quickly, it's cheap, and it just makes your cleanup so much faster and easier. My last tip, tip number 5, might be a little controversial. I say, don't saute your food before you put it in the Instant Pot. A lot of recipes I see will tell you, go ahead and brown the chicken and then put it in and then cook it in the pressure cooker. The problem is, food that comes out of the pressure cooker has a specific texture to it. It's kind of like a steamed texture to it. Like chicken skin will be very soft and kind of rubbery, and it's just not so pleasant of a texture to me. So unless you're cooking a dish like a stew or a pot roast or something like a creamy chicken where the chicken's all covered in the gravy and it's part of the totally incorporated into it, then I say saute your food after you take it out of the Instant Pot. Like if you're gonna do chicken thighs in here, put your chicken thighs in, cook them, take them out, pat them dry, go heat up a pan with a little bit of oil, and then saute them in there. You can saute them in here too. You might have some cleanup where you have to like pull the gunk out of the Instant Pot to be able to use the saute feature. But it's a little bit more work, and yes, maybe you have 2 pans instead of the 1 pan magic of the Instant Pot, but your food is gonna be so much better. Take my Filipino chicken adobo recipe. When it's done in the Instant Pot, you can eat it right then and there. Lots of people actually like it that way. They like that little softer braised texture to it. Me, I want it crispy style. So I take my adobo out of the Instant Pot, pat it dry, and I take it out to a pan and I fry it. And you get this. Come on, look at that. So much better looking than the unsauteed. So that's my final tip. Saute your food after it comes out of the Instant Pot to give it color and texture, and you're gonna get better food that way. Those are my top 5 tips and hacks for the Instant Pot. If you want to know more about the Instant Pot, I have a whole Instant Pot playlist. I'll link it up here in the video. I've got recipes for things like chicken adobo, ribs. I've got a little bit more detailed information on how they work. And I've even got a recipe on how to make rice. Sounds really simple. Lots of people screw it up. All right, go cook something.
For more recipes and videos, visit dadgotthis.com. To be sure you don't miss anything, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the damn bell. I double dog dare you. Come on, you have to do it. It was a double dog dare. I mean, those are the rules.